Donald Trump stated that he has not set any deadlines for reaching a peace agreement on Ukraine. The U.S. president denied the existence of strict time frames and emphasized that his main goal is to stop the killings, not to stick to calendar dates. Meanwhile, global media are discussing the leak of a conversation between Trump's special envoy and Putin's aide. In these transcripts, Steve Witkoff advises the Kremlin on how to present its peace agreement proposals so that they would be accepted by the U.S. president. Ukraine is not involved in the leak. According to Mikhailo Podolyak, a representative of the Office of the President of Ukraine, Kyiv distinguishes between official documents and what happens around them. And all sensitive issues of the plan will be discussed by Zelensky with Trump personally. Who could have leaked the details of the conversation, and how are people in the United States reacting to this? Olena Honcharenko has gathered all the details.
A real traitor and Russian agent. These were the sensational headlines about Steve Witkoff that exploded in the world media after the sensational leak of the Trump special envoy's conversations with the Russians. From them, it appears that the so-called American peace plan for Ukraine, consisting of 28 points, actually turned out to be a Russian one. First, the document was found to contain Russianisms, indicating it was authored by the Kremlin, and then this was confirmed by a transcript of a conversation between Putin's officials Ushakov and Dmitriev, which was published by Bloomberg. The Russians are discussing how to informally pass on proposals favorable to Moscow to Witkoff, so that he would present them to the White House as his own.
We'll draft this document as our position, but unofficially. I'll just say that it's informal and then they can present it as their own. Maybe they won't take our version in its entirety, but at least it will be as close as possible, and you'll be able to talk to Steve about this document. We'll do everything carefully.
In another phone conversation, Witkoff advises Putin's aide Ushakov on how to package the peace plan proposals so that Trump would like them. In a 5-minute recording, Witkoff suggests organizing a call between Trump and Putin. And exactly what the Russian dictator should say to the U.S. president.
I would call and simply repeat that you respect him as a man of peace. I think that would start a very good conversation. I even think that maybe we could formulate, like in the case of Gaza, a 20-point peace plan. Maybe President Putin could say to President Trump, you know, Steve and Yuri discussed a very similar 20-point peace plan. And this might be something that, in our opinion, could move things forward a bit.
All right, my friend, I think these are exactly the points our leaders could discuss. Steve, I agree with you. He will welcome it. He will say that Mr. Trump is a true man of peace and so on.
Ushakov, it seems, took the advice. 2 days later, Trump had a phone conversation with Putin right before Zelensky's visit to Washington in October, where they hope to negotiate the supply of American Tomahawks to Ukraine. The Wall Street Journal writes that it was Witkoff who actually disrupted the missile delivery. After the tapes were leaked, Trump himself defended his envoy, saying he hadn't heard the recording but considered it standard negotiating practice.
I haven't heard it, but that's standard procedure because he needs to sell this to Ukraine. He needs to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's how a deal broker works. You have to say, look, this is what they want. It's a standard form of negotiation.
Congress, however, has a different opinion. They are demanding Witkoff's dismissal and have even started talking about his possible treason. The Kremlin calls the leak an attempt to sow discord between Russians and Americans. So who benefits from the leak of the recordings? The Guardian, citing former intelligence officers, writes that European intelligence agencies dissatisfied with Trump's special envoy's pro-Russian stance may be behind the leaked conversations. Another source for the publication suggests that the tapes were leaked by CIA employees dissatisfied with White House policy. Yet despite the scandal, Trump still sends Witkoff to Moscow for negotiations on coordinating a peace plan. At the same time, analysts from Sky News believe that the consequences of this visit could be catastrophic, as every new rapprochement between Washington and Moscow increases the threat to Ukraine and the security of Europe. Olena Honcharenko, We Are Ukraine, Marathon. United News.